Angel Heart Radio. I'm your host, Tibet, for your today's show, your host. And today I'm looking forward to sharing with you about the question is, how do you talk to your body? Now, it's an interesting question. We all have maybe some awareness, but you really got to think about, how do I speak to my body? Do I speak to it in loving terms, or am I hard on my body? Do I talk down to it? Do I not appreciate it? It's something that if you gain more awareness, you can make a difference to your life and to your health and well-being, and even your longevity for that matter. It's just really going into knowing more and more about the incredible process that is our body. So just before I keep going with that, I just do some housekeeping. Angel Heart Radio programs are not designed to replace any legal, medical, or professional advice, nor your own sound judgment. Fantastic. So I hope we've got some people in the chat room today. Oops, there we go. See if anyone's with us today. Not at the moment, that's fine. Now, thinking about your body. You know, it's a really interesting piece of mechanism and organism. We are an organism, and we're actually an ongoing process, because nothing stays static within our body. And we have that ability that we replace so many billions of cells per day, actually. And I'll read something out in a minute to help you understand that. So that in itself is an amazing thing. But even once you realize that every organ, every cell, or every process in our bodies, even our chakra systems, all of this resonate to a vibration or a frequency, and even a musical note. So our bodies are like a song, and so each individual organ has its own consciousness and unique vibration and frequency and note. So it's important that you could understand that more, and even work with it more in your own way, and talk to it in that way, and give it love. So just before I go into other things, I'll give you some interesting facts, and I'll have to read these out because there's too much there. Like a third of our body mass is fluid, which we all know we're made up a lot of water. It's outside of our cells, such as plasma, solids, and calcium for, the structure of the bones. The remaining 2/3 are made up of roughly 13 trillion human cells. Like, that number can't even imagine that we've got all that, plus 78 organs inside of us, plus other things. It's hard to imagine this packaged in our bodies. It's incredible. And so 72% is about muscle and fat, and has an average lifespan between 12 and 50 years, which is interesting. All these facts are fascinating. So, yeah, 330 billion are replaced each day. So that's quite a lot. And then in 80 to 100 days, 30 trillion have been replenished. It's like we're a new you all the time. So it's really interesting that we have time to, our cells replace. So what we do in that time and what we say can change and should change. And if you want to gain more health, thinking about how you talk to your cells every day, that can change and also improve what your cells are doing and what your body's doing. So every part of our body has a different lifespan. Like the lining of a stomach, because there's so much acidity, it's renewed every few days. And the skin, rejuvenates every 2 to 4 weeks. The hair, which is interesting, about 6 years for women and 3 years for men. So that's quite fascinating. The liver, which is an amazing organ, it detoxifies a lot of the toxins in our body, and and all contaminations, all the things we eat, we shouldn't eat or drink or whatever, or outside influences. So it renews the cells every 150 to 500 days. So that's quite amazing. And the bones, unfortunately, the bones they take 10 years to renew. So that's quite interesting. And unfortunately, the brain doesn't really renew the nerve cells or neurons. They don't divide. So there may be a couple of places things may renew, but it doesn't seem to do the same thing as the other parts of the body. That's not to say that you can't help that, though, how you talk to whatever's there. So it's fascinating just to know those facts about the body, because in terms of healing, as I said before, you can make a difference how you talk to those cells and what they do and what they want to do. I've been sort of doing energy work for like 23 years, and I teach it as well. And understanding the miracles, that you could say miracles, things that I have seen that the body can do. And especially when there's more energy from, say, the energy, the vibrations lifted, the body can regenerate and renew itself on that level quite easily. And that's on the physical level, not emotional, not just emotional, mental levels, but physically also. So that's something to remember. There's an interesting experiment. This gentleman, Cleve Baxter, he was formerly a CIA interrogation expert, but then he started studying biochemistry for 36 years. And he did, I'm sure other people have read this study. There's been many done over the years, but I'll just read this one out because it's significant in terms of when you think about what you can do and what you say to your body. In 1966 it was, he decided to monitor a Dracaena plant. And so he used polygraph equipment. And so he was sitting there, he attached the electrodes to the plant, and he was thinking about what he could do. And so he started imagining, well, what if I sort of decided to burn a leaf of the plant? And he noticed that the arm of the polygraph, just the register went right up. And he thought that was very interesting. So he thought that was, which is fascinating considering. And so the plant was showing a high reaction to what he was thinking. So he decided to walk over to get some matches, and it went even higher. And then he noticed that was interesting. So he decided then to remove the matches, remove the thread from where the plant was. And as he went back, the register went down, the monitor went down, the plant relaxed more. So then the other interesting fact was he decided, well, he'll see what he can do by thinking about it again, or doing as if he was going to do something again, just as a test. And he thought about it, but the plant didn't actually register, it didn't make a difference to the plant, because he realized that it wasn't a true intent. The plant could tell the difference between a true intent, a real thought, a feeling, and a fake one. So this is important for you when you're thinking about, when you talk to your body, what you're saying to it. If you want to do something positive and speak positive to it, heartfelt has to be the way. Like you can say 100 million affirmations and say things about good things to your body, but if it's not heartfelt, it won't feel it, just like the plant. The plant is a sentient being, and the plant knows the difference, and your cells know the difference when you speak to your body. So that's something for you to ponder on. And, you can say 100 million affirmations, but you need to go into that deep space, or when you talk to your body, when you speak to it, focus on the heart and it will respond to you. I've tried this in different ways over the years, and I've felt the difference for myself. I don't know about anyone else, as if anyone else has tried that themselves, but I have certainly known the difference. And your body, there's an energy your body will feel when you speak to your body in support of it, even if it's not, working the way that you think it should. And that happens many times, especially when we're so-called age or mature, we feel our body should be doing different things. And if you give it a hard time, it's going to shut down more and react more, because it's only reacting to what is going on within you, your own system, your own mind, and your own emotions. So obviously, self-acceptance and self-love of all of you is going to make a big difference to your body, and focusing on every part of your body, just giving thanks each day that you're alive and your body's taking you through. Think about your body's been alive for how many years, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, however many, and your body has worked non-stop, absolutely non-stop, to keep you alive, to keep every function happening you don't even think about. That's an amazing feat, and it has to work in conjunction and in harmony with all the rest. The beings who designed our bodies, their intelligence, their love was so great, is so great, that we can't even comprehend how to put something like us together. Machines are all wonderful, but they do not compare in the slightest to the human body and what it's capable of. We haven't even reached what we're capable of yet. So be kind to your body when you talk to it every day, even just in subtle ways. If it doesn't do something, or like if it's going through a hard time, it's giving you pain, talk to it, ask it what it needs. And you have to take the time to do this. Otherwise, you'll never get the connection. Really understanding your body and connecting with what's going on inside will make a massive difference. You will feel it. You'll be able to talk to it and set up that level of communication that you may not have before. Doesn't mean that it will be perfect, that you'll get everything right, but it's like your body, you're an ongoing process of awareness and change. And I guess resistance can be one thing that can create problems in the body as well. So, going in and asking your body, what could I be resisting in my life? Or, what do I not want to see? What am I in denial about? And again, talking to your heart, where you get truth, not so much the mind in that way. If you want the truth, speak to your heart and speak to it in loving terms. If it takes time, it takes time. Start a new relationship with your body. Now, another really interesting, what would you call it? A test that was done by the same man on human cells, on human beings. And I'll read this down again. And he was looking at human cells for signs of consciousness. And he collected all these white blood cells from human donors, and he used electrodes somehow to record the cells. He could get a reading of them. And he recorded different emotional states of people. And they have to be heartfelt, because he did an example of something that was heartfelt, or a reaction when they thought about something that wasn't so heartfelt, and the reactions were very different. So again, this shows you that the heartfelt will make the difference in how you talk to your body. Now in some cases, when there was no emotional connection with what they were saying, there was no response whatsoever. So that shows you, again, with affirmations and what you're saying in everyday life, even in comments, that if they're charged with positive or negative, that will make the difference. Now, one thing he noted, he got one of the donors to drive home and record any you know, if there was stress or any emotions along the way at different times. And when these two things were put together and the recording done, they matched up perfectly where the person had stressful situations or challenging or this or that. And it totally corresponded. And then it showed it on the graph where these stress points came in, even though they were totally at a distance. And then it also showed when the person got home and relaxed, went to bed, the polygraph, the electrode showed exactly the same recording for the same action. So it goes to show you, which is really interesting, that even at a distance, our cells can, which is fascinating. I mean, that opens up another thing, you know, where could we be, you know? And this also opens up to other lives, past lives as well. Our cells can be affected from our ancestors and so forth. So what happens in the cells and what we think and feel, again, is so important. Now, also touching on past lives, it's all energy. Everything is energy, and everything I'm saying and everything you feel is energy. And so in our lives, our present lives, where we are now, what we're focused on in this life is being affected by other soul aspects that have had lifetimes as well. So you're also clearing things from other lifetimes, which is fascinating. And most people won't even realize until, say, you have an experience of a past life in some way. The emotions are the same, the pain, the anger, joy, everything is still the same, the love. So it's important to realize you're more than just this body when it comes to having the emotion and what's going on in your body. So also don't judge what is going on in your body, that you've, you know, done something to create this lifetime. It may not be, even though your soul, you're a part of the soul, it is you in the big picture, definitely. You're working through whatever's gone on or connected to your other lives as well. So that's really fascinating to think about. It expands who you are so much more again. So also what you say about everything, of course, apart from just your body, what you know, love or curse or whatever, what if we understood what comes out of our mouths, the effect of that is so powerful. We may not talk for a while, but it's true. So again, it's just raising that awareness of what you say and what you feel affects your body. So sometimes, as often as I can, each day, somewhere, somehow, whether it's in the morning or even at night, whether you can get in a quiet space and give yourself that time to go within, no matter what's going on in your life, even particularly if there are challenges, it's just going in and honoring every part of your body. It's like going in and saying, thank you, I understand. I know what goes on in my mind and what the stuff, the negative stuff, the fears, or the gamut of emotions and thoughts. Body, I'm so grateful for you and what you're dealing with. I know that I can make it difficult for you, and I love and respect and honor you for keeping me alive every second of the day and night. And I give thanks and blessings to every single part of you. Just doing that can make a difference to your life. And it can lift the heaviness from the cells. You know, in some ways, when we're looking at the fact that we replace all these billions and trillions of cells in our body all the time, why do we age? Why do we actually die, to be honest? Why? There is no need. Gravity would be the only thing, really, in terms. Time is not real. It's not what we think. It's an energy. It's still coming to terms with that. We're still learning how to deal with that. Time has changed. So think about that. What impacts us is the mental gravity, even probably more than the actual physical gravity, because there are beings who have overcome death and who can travel between dimensions. So if they can do it, they can learn, we can do it. And I'm sure by focusing on the creative part of us, what is, and that higher part of us, and that love is, and that's that gratitude for who we are and what our body does. It's this vehicle that's carrying our spirit here in this world that will lift your vibration and work against gravity to some degree. And each and every person will do that at their own rate. But the more you recognize and give thanks to your incredible body for what it can do, and you can ask it to do things, and eventually, depending on your relationship with your body and your awareness and your belief that actually can happen, it will do it. I mean, there's been many examples over the world. I remember, I think it was Esther and Jerry Hicks were talking about this gentleman. I'm correct. I saw it on video. He was totally paralyzed, or at least he was a quadriplegic or paraplegic. No, I think he was quadriplegic. He something pretty intense. And so he only had his mind to think about that he was going to walk out of that hospital. And in his mind, and I'm sure in his way of giving thanks to his body and honoring his body, I saw him walk out of that hospital. I saw that video of him walking out of the hospital. It's quite amazing. And that's just one instance. There are many. And another instance, a little bit different, another lady, this is back in India, probably last century. She had a mother-in-law who told her she was very fat or something like that. And in her mind, that was the worst thing. So she prayed and prayed and prayed that she didn't need to eat food. Well, somehow it's recorded that she was one of those beings who became a breatharian, or understood how to take the mana from the air, from the ethers. And so she was able to live without eating food. So there are many instances of how you talk to your body. I mean, she did respect and love her body. You know, she obviously, to be able to do that. But in the negative, it taught her something. It taught her how to do something amazing. That there are so many amazing things that we're not aware of that we can do. But certainly, starting by honoring and loving your body, you will notice your energy lift and your thoughts lift. You know, work with your mind, talk with your mind. Anywhere that you would love to feel better, start focusing there and put the focus on there and send it gratitude and love, and it will make a difference over time. May not happen straight away, but it will happen. So, you know, there's no limit to what we can do. We've just been told we're limited. And again, we're not. It's just we're coming to the realizations of our own internal power. So no matter what circumstance you may be going through, even if you're ill and you only have your mind, if you only have that, use it, and use that love that's you are, and that's within you, and to talk to your body to help it no matter what is going on. And letting go of what, you know, there's so many, it's portrayed out there in society how we should all look, you know, this unrealistic view of how particularly women should look, and men, but particularly women. It's not real. And so there's so many people not loving their bodies, or you know, cutting it up because it should look different, or we all things that we may not totally enjoy about with our body, but we've come in, we've chosen this body. So give thanks for what you have. There's no need to change unless you're in a, you know, serious illness and life-threatening. You don't need to cut up your body to change, to feel happy with it. And the more love you give it, it'll actually change physically. There will be some sort of change physically, or even the fact that you just change your perspective and you look at it differently. That would be the main thing. So I hope I've given you something to think about today. Just may trigger something in your mind and your actions to start looking at this magnificent thing that is this organism called our body. View it differently, talk to it differently. Just catch yourself if you start to degrade it or, you know, even abuse it, because it's an amazing, amazing thing. So thank you today for listening. And if you want to contact me in any way for any sessions or readings, energy work, my website is thrivetherapies.com.au, and I would love to help you out in some way. So I hope you have a wonderful day and week, and I'll be back next fortnight. I'm not sure what I'll be talking about yet, but I will let you know during the week. So thanks again, and bye for now.